So if you've now developed a decent understanding of the basic technique that we use just to chip the golf ball forward, we can start having a look at how the different golf clubs can affect the height and the roll ratios of the shots that we're going to hit. Now the height and the roll ratios are really dependent on the loft on the golf club. So if I take my most lofted golf club, which is actually for myself a 60-degree lob wedge. Now if you don't have one of these clubs in your bag, it's one of the clubs I would encourage you to add into your clubs. Don't forget, you're only allowed to carry 14 clubs on the golf course, but I think a 60-degree lob wedge for an awful lot of golfers can save them some shots around the green. So if we chip a golf ball with a 60-degree lob wedge, depending on the green that you're landing on, the speed of the green, this is going to fly a good distance of its way towards the hole and then stop and not roll very far. So it might fly as far as 80% of its distance and then stop quite quickly. Now on this shot, over the distance I'm hitting, it's probably going to go about 70% through the air, roll about 30%. But quite importantly, my setup is going to be the same. So I set up in the same fashion. Ball in the centre, hands down, leaning onto the left side and chipping the golf ball in. The loft on the golf is going to hit it quite high. The second shot that I'm going to play is going to be with my pitching wedge, landing the golf ball a little closer to me, rolling it a little bit further, maybe around about 50-50 flight and roll ratio with the pitching wedge. Then I'm going to go ahead and take the 7-iron. The 7-iron, a little bit lower, landing and rolling. So it might only land 20% of the way to the hole and then roll the final 80%. But I'm going to try and take these 3 shots, get 3 shots nice and close to that flag, but with different height and different roll ratios. My swing will be the same, the difference will be in the loft on the golf club face. So here's the lob wedge first. Looking for this one to fly quite a distance up to the hole and then stop relatively quickly when it comes down. Now if we now change the club to the pitching wedge, pitching wedge is probably going to land a little bit nearer to us and then roll a little bit further. The setup's the same, the feet are open, the body weight's well ahead, lands a little sooner, and you see that one really release and run on quite a long way past the hole. Now taking the 7-iron on this occasion. A little shorter in the stroke here because most of the power that we hit the golf ball with is going to be transferred into forwards momentum. It's not going to go very high, it's going to land quite close to me. It's going to shoot on across the green. Probably only flying this 20% of the way to the hole. And that one actually turned out to be the best result on this occasion. But you can start to use your judgment now over which clubs you use from certain situations around the side of the green.